Hey guys, it's Dead Meme back with Astroneer. We started a small little series similar to a tutorial, let's play, or maybe an introduction might be a better description. When I left off, I covered power research and a few other things, but I'm going to get a bit more into exploring. So remember the canister that we acquired, and I said you could use it to bridge gaps and help you explore. So I'd like to get down there, but I'd also like to be alive. So what I could do is I could flatten this out a bit, hold down left control, and then I can create like a little ramp. And this will let me get down there like with easy access and whatnot, because I would really like to have access to my tether network while I'm in a cave. I don't want to suffocate down here. And of course you can improve this by not making such a steep angle. So there's a good use for having a canister on the end of your terrain tool. But I'll be back with you guys when I find some more things to show you, or maybe something worth teaching. Okay, so we found something worth looking at. Underground, I've been using my tether network in order to access more areas. And I did find a cave, a naturally occurring one, and I started exploring, and I found laterite. So this is one of the more important metals. You're going to use it quite a bit. It's very valuable, especially in the early game. Many of the materials that you're going to require is going to be laterite. So I'm going to mine some of this up, and we're going to go back up to our little base there, and I'm going to show you what we can do with all this. So I'd like to point something out in the mission log. Once in a while, you'll get a mission to construct something. Like, say, in this one, I need to print a furnace. I need to refine some laterite into aluminum. But you'll notice, I don't know how to make a furnace. Or it's not in this list of blueprints. So in order to access this, push Q, you can click on that little arm there, and we can look up the furnace. It's not too surprising, like that this sort of thing, researching a new technology in a game like this to advance. So shocker, right? So there it is. There's my furnace, and I think I activated the wrong one. So now we'll just print ourselves up a furnace. And we'll be back when I hook it up and show you some of the stuff we can do with these metals. Okay, we're ready to move on to the furnace here. So I've printed it out, made a platform, it's got power. So we'll drop this right on there. And as you'll see, well, my furnace isn't doing anything. Well, just don't forget, some devices need to be turned on. So now this furnace is going to slowly eat these little nuggets I've brought home and turn them into little bars, and you'll see it'll do all of this on its own as long as it's contained within the little platform. So I made the platform bigger with this little storage block. There we go. So I collected the next smeltable thing, put some aside, and there we go. So I don't have to babysit this. I can go off and do something else. So we've managed to get a fair bit of research done, or collect research points in this case, and I've unlocked the tractor, which is one of the earliest vehicles, probably one of the first ones you'll unlock. And this will let us get around significantly easier. We'll be able to explore the surface relatively easy. Taking this thing underground, it could be a disaster sometimes, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. But there are other attachments and things you could put on this thing, like the drill or the paver, that can smooth out that ride. But for the most part, I just use the tractor as kind of like to drive around the surface, collect some materials, and just to get home. And it also provides you with portable oxygen, right? So you don't have to run your tether network out into the world. But there is something to keep in mind. Let's just unbox this. So you can get portable oxygen off of your vehicles without having an oxygenator on them, or even, in this case, doesn't even have power. But if I try to tether off of this thing, it's not going to work. That's what that oxygenator that I showed you in the previous video, without that, the network that you're attached to will not be able to provide you with oxygen or power. So yes, you do get a portable oxygen supply, but it is only as long as you're close to the vehicle. So we're going to make this vehicle a little bit better, because right now it carries nothing but me. So there we go. Made a new... Alright. So by pushing C or V, we can turn on and off the hotkey for the generator that I've placed in the front of this thing. So we can have power as long as we have leaves to burn. And as you can see, you know, it's not that hard to get organic. So it's a good method to get around early game. We can use this to try and find some intact modules that are worth keeping. Like that one's functional, but it's just more oxygen. Most of that's just scrap. But yeah, this is a fantastic tool. I can't stress enough how much this is going to add to your playthrough. The other thing to keep in mind is you'll notice you can cover a lot of ground pretty quick. You can get lost really easy. So if you hold down R and turn on your compass, you can get a very simple map. So like the house is like your hab, and that is an alien artifact, or maybe it's a precursor. I'm not too sure what to call it, but it's definitely interesting. I don't want to spoil too much. So you could use this to find your way home, even though you travel like an enormous distance, like outside of the normal view range of the beacons. You'll still be able to find your way back. There are some limits to it. It's not perfect, but it's just something to keep in mind. If you decide to wander off, you may get into trouble, so just keep it at the ready. But we got pretty lucky, or I got pretty lucky in this case, with this little ruined settlement here. There's a lot of useful stuff that I can take home from here. Like I found 3 batteries. These are relatively rare. I've got this windmill. I found some research. Like this is definitely a good haul. Exploring... Oh, a hazard. Exploring these ruined little areas that you find, it's definitely worth your while. But let's look at our hazardous little friend over here. So that's a hazardous plant. Most of the things in this game that are out to kill you are plants. It's kind of humorous. But as you can see, you could easily deal with them. So we'll plant these guys. If you plant these, they turn into like a non-aggressive form. And you could even kind of farm them for research materials. And there's other use later on as well. I don't want to spoil that till we get a bit closer, but anyone following the game through its development will know what it's for. But when I find something more interesting to talk about, I'll let you guys know. Okay, we found some, I don't know what to call this. I guess it's kind of like a supply pod. It carries some valuable research in it. We can basically get at this by supplying it with power, because that's, as you can see, what it's asking for. There we go. If we're really lucky, actually I may need to move you. I might be able to open it. Okay. Yeah, it seems to be working, so the bar will fill up and it'll slowly progress. We're just using the generator that was on the front of my vehicle there. We'll turn it off now that it's done. Oh. I don't know what happened there. So you can eat this or consume it with the scan and get a whole bunch of research like immediately. Or you can put it in the research station and it's significantly more valuable. Of course, you need to use electricity to do that, but for the most part, that research station, you should have it running as much as possible. So, yeah, hopefully I found something interesting to show you. I'll be back soon. Okay, I'm going to create a new platform that primarily deals with my power supplies, which is a good thing to do. Any sort of organization is going to help you. This game, there's a lot of components and whatnot, but I'm going to hopefully show you something that'll help you understand how the modular system works. So see how there's 2 slots here, but they're connected? That means this 2-slot guy can fit there. And we see the same thing here and here, but here there's a line that runs between them. So bigger objects, like many of these crafting modules, they fit the 4, but you could never put him on that 2, right? It's just not going to fit. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're making a selection of what kind you want to use. Because if you look at your backpack, none of these are connected. So you're going to be unable to put like a 2-slot item in your bag. So keep that in mind when you're making your base plans. So we'll throw him back in there, and we'll look underneath here. As you can see, there's a 2-slot, and so this guy fits on there perfectly. And I like this because you can go like that and move it to your crafting station and be good to go. So if I wanted a big demand, I wanted to make something out of the aluminum and the zinc and the ceramic, I don't have to pick it one by one. I can just go, there we go. But I'll come back to you when I find something interesting to talk about. Okay, we've unlocked one of the most potentially game-changing technologies, especially in the early game. We've got the soil centrifuge here. So this will allow us to turn simple soils that we were collecting from using the terrain tool. It's like, remember that blue ring, how it's full? And a lot of the time it's going to be. So what you can do is you can deposit your soil. It'll drain it. You can pick it back up. And now you could cycle through and select some potential recipes. Like you can get 3 resin, 3 compound, at least with the amounts that I've popped in. Hit the button, off it goes. It is rather energy intensive though, so you're gonna watch my batteries. Hey guys, so I found some copper, and what's great about copper, well, you can make solar panels with it. Some very interesting, something interesting we'll probably do in the next episode is required when you'll need to have copper to build it. It's probably the highlight of Astroneer at the moment. I'm sure some of you have already guessed what it is. But one thing I would like to talk about is copper is a strange material to find. Like, I remember when I was playing, before I really knew, where's all the copper? Why can I never find copper? And it's just very rare underground. I would occasionally bump into it. So you'll notice that I'm in a space where the minerals are very hard, and my tool is having a real rough time digging through. It's because I'm on the mountainside. So in the mountains, as you can, oh, there's even some up there. The copper is mostly in the mountain biome. Like, you can find it elsewhere, but for the most part, this is where you're going to see it. So now that we've collected a bit of copper, if I can hopefully get a decent amount, we'll recap the things we've done today, and tomorrow we'll have an exciting day planned with a fascinating item we're going to unlock. But anyway, talk to you soon. Okay, I think I'm going to end for the day. I'm just going to quickly review what we did. We unlocked the soil centrifuge. I did this in the backpack under the research menu in this tab. And I believe it's near the top. Yeah. The soil centrifuge can be filled up with the soil that you dig up, and then you can choose some relatively baseline materials in order to produce them without having to go and find them. We unlocked the buggy, and some objects, once you place them in the world, you cannot pick them up again. You'll have to drive that if you want to move it somewhere. As well, we built this tractor and acquired some more components for it by doing some of the quests on the launch pad. We put a generator on the front so it always has power. And we talked about how the modular system works, so you can put a 2 slot in there with a line between them, but not a 4. And V and C will turn on and off the generator on the front of the car. And this, of course, is the launch pad where the mission log is. Keep checking in with this. You get a lot of good items and rewards. Other than that, boys and girls, it's been a good day for me. Hopefully I see you again soon, and you guys have fun playing whatever it is you do. And hopefully you'll join me for some more Astroneer in the future. Talk to you later.